Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining. Sunil here. Can you hear me? Please give your confirmations on the chat box, please. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I welcome you all to this DevOps batch number 97. This is the first day of the DevOps course. Thank you very much for your confirmations. Thank you very much for your confirmations. Let us stop the chat. Let us stop the chat. What is our plan for today? Our plan for today is to have a introduction of DevOps. First, I'll introduce myself as an instructor. I will mention my experience. And then let's have interaction with some of the participants. Obviously, we cannot have the introduction of all the participants. Those who want to talk with respect to introducing yourself, please raise your hand. We'll randomly pick up some of the participants and let's have interaction with the participants. And then we jump into the actual concept of DevOps. Especially we'll learn what is DevOps, why DevOps is one of the most trending technologies and for the job market. What is a prerequisite for DevOps? What are the course contents which are covered as part of the DevOps course? How do you access the recordings? What is the course fees? All these points will be very clear by end of the session. Okay, first point. Next point. For perfect communication between me as well, between the training institute and the participants, you should all be in the WhatsApp groups. I'm sure you're already part of a WhatsApp groups DevOps batch 97. But in case, if you're not part of the WhatsApp group, I strongly recommend you to join the WhatsApp group now. In case if you're not part of the WhatsApp group, please join the WhatsApp group, which I'm posting now in the chat box. Using the link which I'm posting now in the chat box. I've just posted the WhatsApp group joining link. Please using this link. If you're already part of 97 batch, please do not rejoin, especially for the people who do not belong to WhatsApp group. In case by any chance, if this first group is full, please join the second group. That's not a problem. Thank you very much. Any of the groups. Okay. The first point is that we should have a platform for quick and perfect communication between the organization and the participants. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So let's start. As you know, every session is recorded. You'll also have given access to the recordings. What is our agenda for today? I'll have an introduction of myself and let's have introduction of the participants. And then I'll be introducing you the term called DevOps. Even though you're completely zero in DevOps, you'll understand what is DevOps and what is the importance of DevOps. Okay. This is Sunil Kopavarapu. I'm having close to 11 years of experience in the IT industry. First 4 years of experience, I worked in Oracle applications platform as a techno-functional consultant. So my career started with Oracle applications platform and then I got an opportunity within the organization to switch from Oracle applications to AWS and DevOps. So 4 years of experience I'm having in Oracle applications and close to 6 years of experience I'm having in AWS and DevOps technology. I'm providing online training for more than 5 years. So this is about, and I'm based out of Hyderabad. This is a quick introduction about myself. Okay. Thank you. So I'm sure you are ready to have introduce yourself. So if you want to introduce yourself, please raise your hand. Let's have interaction of some of the participants and then we'll get into the subject. Okay. Starting with Yogesh. Good morning, Yogesh. How are you? Your location and your experience, please.
Yeah, hi Sunil. Myself, Yogesh Rekhawar. I am from Mumbai. I have 14 years of experience in IT.
Wow, very good.
In support.
Production support.
Production support, yeah, for application management.
Okay, very good, very good.
And I have starting 7 years of experience in development in .NET applications.
Okay. You have started it as DevOps, a .NET developer.
Yes, yes.
Good. Any specific reason why are you learning DevOps?
So basically, I started my career in development, and now I am working in operations.
Operations. Now,
So
DevOps is the right platform for you.
yeah, right.
Yes, as you derive the experience from development to operations, this is the right technology. You can shift it to Yogesh. Okay. I
Yeah.
hope you know DevOps is one of the most important, highly in demand course in the current industry. Okay.
Yes, yes.
So I wish you all the best, Yogesh, and definitely this training will help you in
Yeah.
transition to the DevOps platform. How do you know about our organization?
Means in last year, I have attended your one of the session,
DevOps,
not DevOps, AWS.
AWS.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
that's how you have it.
I very much like your way of learning.
Thank you, Yogesh. Okay.
Yeah,
So I'm sure you will also be equally impressed with the DevOps course also. Okay, thank you.
yeah. Thanks.
Any specific questions?
No, no.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Alfonso, how are you? Your location, please, and your experience. You are now allowed to unmute and talk.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you, Alfonso. How are you doing?
I'm very well. Yeah, I'm here in the US. I have about 7 years in networking slash field tech engineering and doing my master in cybersecurity. And I'm new to DevOps, honestly
Okay.
speaking.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Do you know AWS?
Yeah, I understand the foundational part of AWS.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay. So why are you learning DevOps?
Uh, Honestly, I just realized I need to grow in my field. I've been in the agile environment doing more
Mm-hmm.
of
Okay.
CNC and compliance there about, yeah.
Okay, good.
So I want to understand and higher
How
level.
DevOps helps the
Yeah.
organization. Okay. Okay, good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, Sriram.
Very good morning, sir. It's my pleasure to be a part of this DevOps course, sir.
I'm equally happy to have your interaction.
I just joined in TCS in 2 months back, sir, and I have been involved in as an associate cloud engineer in AWS.
You're lucky. Your career starting with DevOps is a very good.
Yes, sir, and I have been listening to your AWS class from my second year onwards, sir, from 2020.
Oh my God. Okay. So
I
that
just upgrading skills.
so did your AWS skills helped in getting your job
Yeah,
opportunity?
definitely, sir. I just recently completed my associate cloud architect certification too, sir.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. And I just want to upgrade my skills to be a successful DevOps engineer in within a less span of time.
Yes, you'll have a wonderful career, no doubt, Sriram. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. I
Did
have
you
been waiting for your classes, especially, sir, and I just waiting for your instruction and
now
everything.
now your waiting is ended. It started.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, and happy Teachers' Day, sir.
Thank you very much and have a wonderful learning and a career ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir.
Are you mapped to any specific client or you're still
I just completed my training yesterday only, sir.
TCS?
Awaiting for it into a project.
Which location?
Location is Hyderabad, sir, Madhapur.
Thank you, Sriram.
Yes,
All
sir.
the best for you.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir.
Anup Singh, good morning. How are you, Anup? You are now allowed to unmute and talk. By default, you'll be on mute. You have to unmute and talk.
Hi Sunil, can you hear me? Good
I can
morning.
hear you. Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, Sunil. So I'm from Varanasi and I don't have any prior background for for IT and all.
Mhm.
I'm a mechanical engineer and I have an experience of 5 years in supply chain analyst.
Okay.
since I just wanted to
Get into the
so,
IT industry.
yeah, so I'm doing AWS class.
From
So
Mr. Ankit.
sorry.
You are attending by Mr. Ankit Narula.
Yes,
Okay.
correct. So I think it's a good it's not too late, right? Because I'm not very much sure because it's already 5 years are gone. I mean, yeah,
Anybody can get into IT industry as long as you're skilled and ready to get hired. Anup, okay. Please do
okay.
hard work. Please practice perfectly whatever we are learning. Okay. Definitely
Mm-hmm.
you'll have a wonderful career. All the best.
Sure, Sunil. Thank you.
Sure. Bhaktavatsalam. Bhaktavatsalam. You're allowed to unmute.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine, sir. How are you, sir?
Doing well. Yes. May I know your
Sir, I
experience?
came to know, sir, I already joined DevOps
Mm-hmm.
from
Okay.
Srikalahasti. I am from Andhra Pradesh.
Okay.
Recently, sir.
You already have
And
joined.
yes, sir.
Which institute?
Sir, through my colleagues, sir.
Which batch?
Sir, Srikalahasti, sir. Srikalahasti.
You have already joined DevOps course, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Where did you join?
Sir, 2002 January to March.
Okay, in my batch only.
No, sir. Here outside.
Okay, okay. So you already have
My
completed the
friend
course.
recommended. Yes, sir. I already completed.
Okay, why are you repeating again?
Sir, I watched your video, sir, through my friend.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So excellent teaching and excellent understanding. That's why I want to join.
You want to rejoin and brush up the skills again.
Yes, sir. So
Thank
I
you
have
very
some
much.
doubts while practicing.
Okay. All your doubts will be clear. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Let's have a couple of more participants and then we'll get into the concepts. Anuj Yadav.
Good morning, Sunil sir.
Good morning, Anuj. How are you doing?
I'm fine. What about you, sir?
Doing well. Thank you very much for joining early morning, 6 o'clock.
Yes, sir.
It's difficult to wake up, am I right?
Yeah.
Hmm?
I planned for. I set my alarm for 4 o'clock or 4:30.
Why?
After that, I woke up.
Okay, you don't need to wake up at 4:30. It's 6 o'clock, right? You can just wake up 10 minutes before the scheduled time.
Actually, it is not my habit. I woke up around 8 or 7.
Okay. From now you have to wake up at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, my
Are you
question.
determined to do that?
What, sir?
Are you ready to do that?
Today?
No. Every day you have to wake up at 6 o'clock. So are you ready for it?
Actually, my sleeping time is too late. It's around 1 or 2.
Then how do
Because
you
of,
manage the training then?
I can manage because of I'm attending one of the course by Ankit Narula sir. So
Okay.
I'm very I can say very heartily attached with the logic labs. So
Okay.
I'm very desperately searching these type of DevOps because of in last 2 months I'm learning a lot of technologies in DevOps with the pre-recorded courses, but I need a live session because of when I'm trying to execute any jobs
Any
in
examples?
Jenkins,
You're getting some errors.
yeah, I'm getting errors and I'm desperately troubleshooting on Google and I'm taking some assistant, but I didn't get any solution. So
Okay.
in live class, I just want to some these type question
Sure.
solution.
Okay, Anuj. Okay.
Yeah.
All the best.
One more thing, Anand, Sunil sir,
Yep.
which language for automation you would be used?
Automation is done by using a tool called Jenkins. We use a Groovy script.
For scripting, I'm just
It's a
asking
very
for
simple Groovy script.
which one?
Groovy script.
Okay, Ruby.
You'll understand it. Yeah. Groovy. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, okay. And sir,
Yes.
if actually I have knowledge in Java and I am learning, so it is beneficial in DevOps.
No,
In
Java
any,
is not beneficial.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, Faisal.
Very good morning, Sunil sir.
Good morning.
I'm from Maharashtra
Okay.
and I'm having 2.5 years of experience sure, as a cloud engineer.
Wow, very good. Which cloud? Is it AWS cloud?
No, it's Azure, and I'm learning AWS. I attended your classes previously on uh, January.
On
Yeah,
AWS.
yeah. And I'm just
It's
moving
been a
on.
long time. Now I have stopped teaching on AWS. I hope you know it.
Yeah. I got this message from the same group. I didn't remove that group yet because your way of learning, your way of teaching is awesome.
Thank you. Okay. So you are having Microsoft Azure experience, isn't it?
Yes.
I have one question to you. Do you want to learn DevOps on AWS or do you want to learn DevOps on Azure?
It's depend. Actually, I'm not getting a chance in my company to work on DevOps, so I'm just exploring.
Exploring the skills. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope you know we are learning DevOps on AWS. I hope we are very clear, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Faisal. One more final call before going on to today's session. One more final call before getting on to the today's session. Vamsi Krishna, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
Fine, sir. Thank you, sir. It's my pleasure talking to you. Sir. Thank
you
you.
can call
Thank
me
you.
Sunil. Okay.
Yeah, Sunil. Yes, Sunil.
Thank you. Yes, your experience and your location.
Sir, I am from Srikalahasti, sir, Andhra Pradesh.
Any experience you're having?
Sir, currently I'm working on manual testing. Sir,
very good. How many years of experience you're having in manual testing?
3 years, sir. 3 years.
Okay. Now you want to get into you want to switch from manual testing to the latest technology.
Yes, sir. I have attended your AWS class also, sir. February.
Okay. So did you like it?
Yes, sir. It's good, sir. Actually.
Thank you very much.
Trying for DevOps class, and this time I have to get it full.
Perfect. Please practice. Okay. There are a lot of success stories, Vamsi.
Yes,
many people in this after this training have successfully changed their technologies from mainframes to DevOps, from many manual testing participants from DevOps. Many college lecturers have been made their career into DevOps. Okay. Yes. I'm sure after this training, please put an experience of 3 years or 2.5 years, Vamsi, on your resume. Okay. And definitely you'll have a successful transition from your manual technology to the DevOps, which is highly in demand with a very good package. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
All the best for your bright career.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. So, my dear friends, as we had an introduction with some of the participants, I'm sure many participants are raising their hands, but we cannot talk with all the participants. So, I have randomly picked up some of the participants and we had an interaction. Now, let's move into the concept of DevOps. Okay. So, what this DevOps training is from the scratch. Okay. You'll understand what is DevOps. Okay. And why DevOps is one of the most preferred skills in the current job market. Okay. So before explaining you what is DevOps, I want to discuss about Sdlc. 1 minute, please. Before discussing about DevOps, I want to discuss about SDLC, stands for Software Development Lifecycle. Okay. What do you mean by SDLC? Okay, look at this. You have a client Assuming a banking client like ICICI Bank or HSBC Bank, whatever it is. Or let's have an ICICI Bank. A client, assume an ICICI Bank, needs an internet banking application for their customers. A bank, a very big bank, needs an internet banking application for their customers. Typically what happens, clients approach IT companies like Infosys or Wipro or TCS or IBM, whatever it is. Typically, client approaches the IT companies, gives the requirements to the IT companies, and IT companies clearly understand the requirements, and then as per the requirements, they deliver the product or project to the client. This is what technically happens. Client gives the requirements to the software development company. The software development company clearly understands the requirements. As per the requirements, they develop the product and deliver it to the client. This is what happens typically in the IT industry. Is it? Okay. When software development companies like Infosys or Wipro or TCS or IBM or Accenture, whatever it is, when the companies take the requirements, they need to follow a streamlined approach in developing a particular product. A software development companies should follow a streamlined documented approach in developing a product and delivering it to the client. The professional approach, a streamlined approach using which a product is developed and delivered to the client is nothing but Sdlc, software development lifecycle, a series of steps. A series of steps which are involved. A software cannot be developed in ad hoc basis. Definitely it will result in a low quality product. A software should be always built using a professional streamlined approach. That professional streamlined approach of building a particular product is nothing but software development lifecycle. Sdlc, software development lifecycle. Like how we have a human lifecycle, how we have evolved ourselves. In the same way, product should be evolved by following a series of steps. That series of steps using which a particular product is developed and delivered is nothing but Sdlc. And there are a lot of models. There are a lot of models in software development lifecycle. There are different models using which you can build a particular product and deliver it. There are several models using which you can build a particular product and deliver it. I don't want to discuss all the models. I want to restrict myself with respect to two important models in software development lifecycle. One is Waterfall Model. The other one is Agile Model. There are several models using which a product is built and delivered. I hope we all know there are several ways of building in constructing a particular building and delivering it. In the same way, there are several ways using which a product can be developed and delivered to the client. I want to restrict myself with respect to two models. I want to first explain about how a particular product is developed and delivered using Waterfall Model. I want to discuss with Waterfall Model, and we will also have disadvantages of the Waterfall Model. Right now, the Waterfall Model is not used. The complete industry is using a most important popular model called as an Agile Model. The complete industry is using Agile Model. So before going into Agile Model, we'll discuss about Waterfall Model. We'll understand the disadvantages of the Waterfall Model, and then we'll get into Agile Model. You'll understand what is Agile Model, how Agile Model is different from Waterfall Model, how exactly client can enjoy the benefits of the Agile Model. So all this, let's have a clear understanding. Okay, to start with Waterfall Model. Okay. So this is how the Waterfall Model looks. A series of step-by-step approach using which a product is developed and built and delivered is called as a Waterfall Model. As you can see, stage 1 is requirements, stage 2 is analysis stage 3 designing the product, stage 4 is coding part, testing, and acceptance is nothing but we are delivering it to the client. This series of steps using which a product is built and delivered to the client, this series of approach is called as a waterfall model. Let's learn more in detail about these stages. I want to discuss about first step called requirement stage. I want to discuss about the first stage called requirement stage. Not only waterfall model, in any model starts with requirements, obviously. Not only the waterfall model, every model, like we have agile model, spiral model, and V model. These are different models of using which a product is delivered. I'm talking about, in fact, every model starts with the requirements. As you can see in the waterfall model, the first stage is requirements. As you can see in the waterfall model, the first stage is requirements. So what happens in the requirement stage? What happens in the requirement stage? There will be regular interactions. There will be regular interaction. There will be regular meeting between the client and the software development company. It is the responsibility of the software development company to clearly understand the requirements, talking to the domain experts, talking to the department heads to understand the requirements, which is very, very important. The first stage in the waterfall model is the requirement stage, where there will be regular meetings between the client and the software development company. And then there's a responsibility of the software development company to clearly understand the requirements. And this is the most important stage, because only when the requirements are clear, then we end up the right product. If the understanding requirements is wrong, obviously we end up delivering the wrong product. So requirements is the most important stage, in fact, for every model. So there will be regular meetings between the client and the software company, and the requirements has been taken. Okay, next. After requirements, as you can see, the next stage is analysis. What happens in the analysis stage? In the analysis stage, the technology components are decided. The technology components are decided. What do you mean by technology components? In other words, should we develop the product using Java? Or should we develop the project using .NET technology? Or should we develop the project using Python? The technology components. Coming to database, should we use Oracle database? Should we use Microsoft SQL Server database? Or should we use the latest tool that is called as MongoDB? What about the middleware? Should we use WebLogic? Should we use WebSphere? Should we use JBoss? The middleware, the application server. So these kind of technology components are decided. So the second stage is all about technology components. Okay, so once understanding the requirements is done, so the client or it's completely the decision maker sometimes will be the software development company, assuming that they have started building the technology using Java as backend as Oracle once, and the middleware is a WebLogic. So that's how the technology components are decided. Clear? So that happens in the analysis stage. The next stage is design, my dear friends. What happens in the design stage? The complete product is broken up into modules. The complete product is broken up into modules. Assuming a banking application, the client is a banking client, savings account is module 1. Business banking is module 2. NRI banking is module 3. Wealth banking module 4. Credit card module 5. Customer care module 6. Loans module 7. So the complete product is broken up into modules. Data flow diagrams, the user interface, the user experience, the workflows. So all these are designed. Okay. So all this is the user interface, how exactly the pages should look like, what should be the experience. Okay. So how exactly the data should flow, how exactly the workflow should be defined. So all this happens in the design stage. Okay. So this happens in the design stage. Next, Once the design stage is completed, now here comes the part of coding stage. In the coding, here comes the role of a programmer. In the coding stage, here comes the role of a programmer. If it is Java technology, Java programmers. If it is Python technology, the Python programmers. In the coding stage, programmers comes into action. They take the documents from the design team, how exactly the login page should be there, how exactly the services page should be there, or how exactly the workflow should be drawn. According to the documents, they start developing the code. How exactly page should be called, or how exactly page should be embedded, what are the functionalities to be received. So as per the design documents, the development team will jump into action and they start coding. So here comes the role of a programmer. I hope we can easily visualize. Assuming coding has been completed. As per the documents from the design team, the coding has been completed. What will be the next action? Obviously, it should be tested before delivering it, isn't it? The testing team will jump into action. Testing team will jump into action. Testing team will test whether the application is perfectly behaving as per the requirements or not. So that's the job of the testing team. And there are two ways of testing: manual testing and automation testing. Whatever it is, the testing should happen. Testing team will jump into action. They make sure that the application is perfectly behaving as per the requirements. So that's the job. That's the job of the testing team. Assuming positive, assuming testing has been successfully completed and the application is perfectly behaving as per the client requirement, and then we deliver the product, and client will accept that particular product and start using that particular product. Okay. This high-level series of approach. This is a high-level series of approach used. This is called as a waterfall model. This is a series of approach which is built and delivered. This way of building a particular product and delivering it to the client is called as a waterfall model. Okay. So I hope it is very simple and easy to understand waterfall model. In fact, the first model in the software development lifecycle. The first model in software development lifecycle is waterfall model. Waterfall model probably used 20 years back. Now it is not at all used. 2 decades back. In the current industry, no one is using the waterfall model because waterfall model is suffering with some serious disadvantages. Waterfall model is suffering with serious disadvantages. Okay, I'll show you how exactly. On a high level, I'll quickly explain the disadvantages of the waterfall model. The one of the most important disadvantage in the waterfall model is one stage is dependent on its previous stage. There's a lot of dependency involved between one team of resource to other team of resource. One stage is dependent on its previous stage. What does that mean? Coding can start only after completing the design stage. Are you understanding? when coding can be started only after completing the design stage. All right. And design can be done only after completing the analysis part. Testing can be done only after completing the coding part. So there's a lot of dependency. One team of resource will wait for the other team of resource to complete their part. Are you understanding? For example, I'll give you one more example. Look at this. For example, let's say there are 60 developers. Coding team is a group of 60 developers. 60 developers will wait for the design team to complete their task. Assuming the design team has given estimate that they need 2 months of time to complete the design part. The design team has given an estimate that they need 2 months of time to complete the design because they have to design the savings account module, current account module, NRI banking module. They have to design wealth banking. They have to design customer care. They have to design all the modules. It's a time-consuming process. So they have given an estimate that okay, they need 2 months. So 60 developers will be waiting for 2 months to complete the design team. Dependency. So assuming design has been completed, coding has been started, the project manager has given an estimate that they need 6 months of time. The project manager has given an estimate that they need 60 resources and the duration required for completing the coding part is 6 months. So the testing team will wait for how many months? Testing team will wait for 6 months to complete the coding part. There's a strong dependency because of which there's a delay happening in the, it's very difficult to meet the deadlines because of these kinds of dependency issues. One team will wait for the other team to complete their job. Testing team will wait for the coding to get completed. Coding will wait for the design to get completed. Design team will wait for the analysis. Analysis team will wait for the requirements. There's a lot of dependency. Okay. And because of this dependency, there's a delay in the software development, and it's very, very difficult to meet the deadline. So this is one of the serious problems in the waterfall model. This is problem number one. There's one more important problem. Waterfall model does not encourages clients, client is nothing but in our case ICICI Bank. Waterfall model does not encourages clients to give new requirements. Waterfall model does not encourages the clients to give new requirements. For example, assuming requirements has taken on January 1st. Assume. In the waterfall model, assuming the requirements has been taken on January 1st. In waterfall model, what should happen is the requirement should be freezed. They clearly document the requirements and they do not expect anything more. Clients are not allowed, or clients are not encouraged to give new requirements. The waterfall model freezes the requirements, and as per the requirements freezed on 1st January, the analysis happens, design happens, coding happens, testing happens. Are you understanding? The requirements are freezed, so clients are not allowed to give the new requirements, which is not at all suitable in the current industry. The current industry, the business is more dynamic. Your model should be robust and flexible enough so that it can give the new requirements, and it should accept the existing requirements as well as new requirements and deliver the products. In such a flexible approach, the model should be. The waterfall model is not at all flexible. It does not allow the clients to give new requirements. They freeze the requirements. As per the requirements, they freeze the design. Once the design is freezed, once the analysis is freezed, then design happens, and once the design is freezed, coding happens. There is no concept of going back in waterfall model. Are you understanding why this model is called as waterfall, as waterfalls from top to bottom? Here we need to move forward. There's no concept of water going back. In the same way, in the waterfall model, there's no concept of going back and changing something. At the when developers are started coding, there's no concept of changing the design. No, design is freezed. That's what waterfall model says. There's no concept of going back and changing something. Are you understanding? So that's the most important disadvantage, which is not at all suitable in the current industry. In the current industry, business is dynamic. Changes are eventually happens. Have you seen how exactly frequently Facebook changes? Agree? The options will change. Nowadays, change is very, very important, and change is very dynamic, and change should be very fast. And the waterfall model does not encourage the clients to give new requirements. So that's the most important disadvantage. Because of these two disadvantages, one is there's a lot of dependency between one team to other team, because of which it's very tough to meet the deadlines, and does not encourage the clients to give new requirements. These are the two serious reasons because of which waterfall model is not at all used in the current industry. So let's have a quick reading of the waterfall model. It is very difficult to estimate the time and cost because of dependency between the resources. Dependency between the resources. Okay. Once an application is in testing stage, it's very difficult to go back and change something which is not well. There's no concept of changing something which is already done. There's no concept of going back. It is not good for complex and object-oriented projects. Especially, this waterfall model is not good for projects where the requirements are at a high risk of changing. If it is a product where the requirements are at moderate to high risk of changing, then definitely waterfall model is not at all suitable. So this is the disadvantages of the waterfall model. Am I clear? My dear friends, if I'm clear, please respond in the chat box. Am I clear on a high level explaining you what is a waterfall model and how exactly the product is delivered on a high level using waterfall model? I hope it is very clear. You have understood the problems and the disadvantages of the waterfall model, and because of these reasons, waterfall model is not used probably 20 years back. It's not at all used now. You may have a question, Sunil, if it is not used. If waterfall model is not used, what is a popular model in the current industry now? Perfect. Now the current industry, let us stop the chat. Now the current industry is going with agile model. The most popular model, the leading model, highly used model in the current industry is agile model. Most of the clients are using agile model in delivering a particular product, building a particular product. So let's discuss about agile model. How agile model is difficult? Why agile is leading model? How the product is built in a agile model? Let's try to understand. Look at the theory. Try to understand the terminology. Terminology is very, very important. You have to use this terminology in the interviews. Agile model is also called as an incremental model. Incremental, look at the terms, try to understand the terminology. It's called as incremental model, where software is developed in incremental rapid cycles. Incremental model, software is built in cycles. Each result is in increment, each results in small releases. Each release dependent on its previous functionality and making sure it's thoroughly tested. Each release is thoroughly tested and the quality is maintained. Look at the theory. Theory is important. Agile model emphasizes on iterative, incremental, evolutionary. Try to understand the concept by using the terminologies: iterative, incremental, evolutionary, rapid cycles. Clear? So built in. So what does all this means? Let's try to understand all this theory by getting into practicals. Let's understand this theory by getting into practice. Assume this is the client requirement. Assume this is the client requirement. By difference, this is an ICICI banking, internet banking application, as we all know. This is what the client requirement is. They want internet banking application to have their personal banking, privilege banking. So these are the modules. The complete banking application can be broken up into modules. You can see here personal banking, privilege banking, wealth banking, private banking, NRI banking, business banking, small and medium scale enterprises. So these are all modules. Okay. Now, how agile model is different from waterfall model? Try to understand a high level. I'm explaining you how agile is different from waterfall model. In what happens in the waterfall model? What happens in the waterfall model? You know what is the first stage in the waterfall model? Yes, you are right. It's requirements. You know what's the first stage in the waterfall model? Requirements. The first stage in the waterfall model is requirement. So what happens in the requirement stage? There will be regular interaction with the personal banking team to understand the requirements of personal banking. Next, the software company will understand, the team will understand the requirements of privilege banking. Next, they understand the requirements of wealth banking, understand the requirements of private banking, understand the requirements of NRI banking, business banking, and all the modules, they understand the requirements, and then they declare it as requirement stage has been completed. This is what happens in the waterfall model. They take the requirements of all the departments and then they say it as requirements has been completed. Next is design, right? After requirements analysis, should we build using Java? Should we build using .NET? So analysis is not specific to particular module. It's across the application. That's fine. Okay, let's say they have decided that they want to build the application using Java with the databases, Oracle, and the middleware as WebLogic, whatever it is. That's the technology components. Next is design. After analysis, what is the next stage? Design. What happens in the design? You know it. The design team will design the documents of personal banking module. Next, they design the documents of privilege banking. Next, they design the documents of wealth banking. Next, they design the documents of private banking. Like this, they design the modules of all the design all the modules, and then they declare it as the design stage has been completed. Here, this is what happens. Once design has been completed, what happens? The coding team will jump into action. Personal banking team will develop the code for personal banking, develop the code for private banking, develop the code for wealth banking, develop the code for privilege banking. Like this, all the programmers are divided into teams, and then they start developing the coding as per the design document. So that then they declare as coding has been completed. Then testing will happen, and testing will test all the modules, and testing has been completed, and they deliver all the modules to the client. This is what happens in the waterfall model. Now, the way the product is built using agile model is interesting on a high level, so that it is easy to understand. It's completely different. Try to understand how exactly the same product is built using agile model. In Agile model, what happens is first requirements team will take the requirements of module 1. My dear friends, try to understand. The requirements team will take the requirements of module 1. Okay. After requirement, next is what? Analysis. Analysis is not specific module, it will be across the complete product. Okay. Next, design. Now, what happens once requirements team will complete the requirements of module 1? What happens? The requirements team will go to second module, right? Privilege banking. The interesting point here is when the requirements team is busy with taking the requirements of privilege banking, the design team will be busy designing the personal banking. Try to understand here. So that you are making both the teams busy. Requirements team is busy taking the requirements of module 2. Design team is busy designing module 1. Look at the next iteration. Let's say requirements of module 2 has been completed. Requirements team will move to module 3. Requirements team busy taking the requirements of module 3. Design team has completed the design of module 1. Design team has been working on the design of module 2, and coding team busy coding module 1. 3, you're pushing all the 3 complete workforce in action. You're pushing the complete workforce in action. You are breaking the dependencies by using the agile model. Look at the next iteration. Requirements team busy with taking the requirements of module 4. Design team will be busy designing module 3. Coding team will be busy coding module 2 because coding team has completed coding of module 1. Testing team will be busy testing module 1. Are you understanding this? In the next iteration, look at this. Requirements team busy with taking the requirements of an array module. Design team busy designing the private banking. Coding team busy coding the wealth banking. Testing team busy testing the second module, and first module they deliver it to the client. At least clients are happy, but because they are having one module released. Are you understanding? There's no hard and fast rule. In agile model, there's no hard and fast rule that the entire module should be released at once. No. Incremental releases. We'll release module 1 and then perform. They can do a user acceptance test. They can at least experience how exactly the application is behaving specific to one particular module. Are you understanding? Are you understanding this? This is interesting. Your complete workforce is in action. So that's how you have break the dependencies and your complete workforce is in action. As your complete workforce is in action, it is very, very easy to meet the deadlines. It's very, very easy to meet the deadlines. And the most important point is agile model encourages the clients to give new requirements. Because anyways, it's an incremental release. You're not releasing the entire product at once. You already released one particular module and the client has given, I experienced that particular module, they are giving some inputs. Again, we repeat the same cycle one more time with the updated inputs, and in the next cycle, we deliver the updates to the client. That's how the agile model is completely different from the waterfall model. The agile model encourages the clients to give new requirements. You have, and most important point, you are breaking up the dependencies with parallel execution of the modules. So that's how the agile model, the product, how it is built in agile model is completely different from the waterfall model. So agile model is most robust, and these are the advantages because of which agile model is the most widely used model in the current industry. For example, I understand here. If a product, if it is built using waterfall model, it may take 2 years, assuming the same product if you develop using agile model, you can deliver the same product in 1 year or less than 1 year. More than 50% of the more than 50% faster rate you can deliver the product. When you can deliver the product much more faster rate, the client is happy because they got the product at much more faster rate, and software development team is also happy because they are able to meet the deadlines. When you're developing a product, in fact, you're reducing the cost of the organization as you're reducing the cost of the software company as salaries and their maintenance, isn't it? Are you understanding? So that's how the agile model is completely different. That's how the agile model is completely different from the waterfall model. Am I clear, my dear friends? Please respond in the chat box. Am I clear in explaining you the approach which the agile model follows is completely different? I hope you are very clear. I hope I'm very clear in explaining you the approach how the product is built using agile model is completely different. Okay, if you are delivering the if you are delivering same product in less than half the time when you compare to our agile model, when compared to waterfall model. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your responses. Thank you very much. Let us stop the chat. Let us stop the chat. Yes, let us stop the chat. Okay, now coming to our concept. So our course is DevOps. You may have a question, Sunil. We are here to learn DevOps, but why are you discussing about waterfall model and agile model? Yes, there is a relation. Okay, now a particular project or a product, when used waterfall model, it is taking 2 years of time. The same product, if you use agile model, you can deliver it in less than 1 year, isn't it? So such a faster approach agile model is. Okay, very good. Now the current industry is in such a way, that if the clients are giving the requirements, they are not ready to wait for 1 year also. Now the industry is in such a way, when clients are giving the requirements to a particular company, they are not ready. Clients are not ready to wait for 1 year. Client want their product to be delivered in much more faster rate, probably in 3-4 months, they want the product to be released. In such a faster rate, the clients are expecting their products to be delivered. When compared to waterfall model, okay, agile model is speed, no doubt. But now the current industry is not even ready for waiting for 1 year. They want the same product with same quality to be delivered in less than 3 months or 4 months. In such a faster rate, the clients are expecting their products to be developed and delivered. Okay, so how can we deliver a particular product which can be done in using agile model 1 year? The same product, how can we deliver it in just 3-4 months? So the top 50 IT companies in the world, top 50 IT companies in the world have done the research over for 5 years. Just to understand the reason for the delay in Sdlc, whether it is waterfall model, spiral model, whatever it is. The top 550 IT companies in the world have done a research work for 5 years to understand the reason for the delay in the software development lifecycle. Specific in the current trend, it is with respect to agile model. Why there is a delay in happening in delivering a product? Why it is taking 1 year? So they have done a research work for 5 years to understand the reason for the delay. After doing a research work for 5 years, they have come up with one particular statement, and they have identified the delay in the software development process. Why the software companies are facing delay in delivering a particular product. After doing a research work for 5 years, they have understood the reason for the delay. The primary reason for the delay in a particular developing a product and delivering it to the client, the main reason, in spite of any module they can use, the client product, the software companies are using, the main reason for the delay in developing a product and delivering the cloud product is because of one single statement. The statement is because of the gap between development team and operations team. This is a statement after doing a research work for 5 years. After doing a research work for 5 years, they came up with one single statement. The main primary reason for the delay in developing a particular product and delivering it to the client is the gap. There are gaps between development team and operations team. Now, you may have a question, Sunil. What do you could you understand? Could you explain this statement? What do you mean by gap between development team and operations team? Let's try to understand this statement. If you want to understand this statement, called gap between development team and operations team, you have to understand these two terminologies. You have to understand development team and you have to understand operations team. First, you have to understand this terminology. Then you can understand the statement. Let's try to understand development team. Development team is pretty easy to visualize. Development team is nothing but group of developers. Yes, you are right. Development team is nothing special. It's easy to visualize. A group of developers. If a group of Java developers, we can call it as development team. If a group of Python developers, okay, it's Python development team. So development team is easy to visualize. The group of developers, they develop the code as per the requirements. Very good. Yes, you are clear. Let's try to understand the important. What do you mean by operations team? You have to understand what do you mean by operations team. Very, very important. I'm sure in our batch currently people attending live, there are many participants from the operations team. You have to understand what do you mean by operations team. If you're clear in understanding what do you mean by operations team and what will be the day-to-day responsibilities of operations team, when you're very clear in understanding the operations team, then you can understand the statement, the gap between development team and operations team. So let's focus on the term called operations team. What is operations team? What do you mean by operations team? What will be the day-to-day responsibilities of the operations team? Developers team, okay, we can understand easily. Developers are nothing but a group of developers. Their responsibilities is to develop the code. Very good. Anybody can understand. Let's try to understand, especially people who are having non-IT experience, people who are having no experience in the IT industry. Let's try to understand for them also. Let's try to understand what you mean by operations team. Okay, look at this example. Let me explain you the concept of operations team like this. Okay. Assuming a small software company, assume a small software company of 100 employees. There are a lot of small organizations, right? There are small companies of having 100 employees. There are very small software companies which are having 50 employees. There are software companies of 20 employees also. Visualize a small software company of 100 employees, 100 resources. When I say 100 employees, 100 billable resources for a specific client, the primary resources. In a software company of 100 employees, do you think right from the first employee to the last employee, every employee is a developer? Please try to understand this. Visualize a small software company in Hyderabad or some city, a small company of 100 employees. Do you think right from first employee to last employee, every employee is a developer, my dear friends? Do you think? No, it's not the case. Don't be under impression that every employee is a developer. Every person who is working in the IT industry is a programmer or a developer. No, it's not the case. All top IT giants like TCS, Infosys, Wipro, they say that they have hundreds of thousands of employees all over the world. Do you think every employee is a developer or every employee is a programmer? It's not the case. So in our case, visualize a small company of 100 employees. Please don't be under impression that every employee is a programmer or every employee is a developer. It's not the case. No. Okay, probably 50%. It's not 50, less than 50, but let's try to make it easy. It's a 50% are developers. Assume. Okay, 50% can be developers. 50 out of 100 employees, 50 employees are developers. Now the other set of people who are also 50 employees, who are not developers. So in an organization of 100 employees, 50 employees, okay, we are assuming that their development team, they develop the code as per the requirement. So there are 50 other employees who are not developers, but they are billable by the client. They're critical. You cannot underestimate them. They're very important. This set of people who are also very important. The non-development team is also very important. They're very critical. They are also billable. Understand? You can bill to the client for their resources, for their services. So what will be this set of people? What is the responsibilities of this set of people who does not belong to the development team? This set of people who does not belong to the development team, but they are very critical. They're very important. This set of people are called as the operations team, my dear friends. This set of people are called as operations team. Development team, group of developers. Non-development team, which is very important, critical, billable, they are called as operations team. So these are called as operations team. The other set of people who are very important, but they don't develop the Java code, they do not develop the Python code or .NET code, but they're very important and critical. They are billable. These are called as operations team. Now let's try to understand if they are very critical, why they are critical. If they are billable, are they really important? What will be their day-to-day responsibilities? Let's try to understand. Let's try to understand the responsibilities of the operations team. As you can see in the slide now, the main purpose of the delay is because of the gap between development team and operations team. Now let's try to understand the gap between development team and operations team. So if you want to understand the statement gap between development team and operations team, you have to understand the responsibilities of the operations team. What are the responsibilities of the operations team? Installing the server hardware. When developers develop the application, they deploy into the server, right? They deploy the application servers, like application server like JBoss, WebLogic, WebSphere. It is whose responsibility to maintain those applications. Do you think development team will respond? They don't know how to install. They don't know how to manage it. It's completely the middleware team. So middleware team comes into operations team on a high level. Specifically, non-development team comes to middleware team, database team. Have you heard about database administrators? The backend team. Assuming if the database is not working, the backend is down, development team will be very happy. They send an email to the operations team saying that the database is not working. Could you please up the server? It is whose responsibility to maintain these application servers, to maintain these database servers? Obviously, the responsibilities of the operations team. Configuring the networks, configuring configuration of servers, configuration of storage, maintaining the firewalls, maintaining the switches, maintaining the cyber security, monitoring the servers, most important. Operations team works 24/7, the night shifts also. Because in case the server is down, who will be responding? Who will be responding to the outages? Obviously, the operations team. Development team are least bothered responding to the outages. IT security has also providing cyber security, providing firewall rules, version controlling, maintaining backup, disaster recovery, DR site, making sure the live environment is synced with the DR site, production support. Once the clients are using the particular product, any issues with respect to particular product, who will be responding? There will be support team. Will be responding to the live customers. So do you think without all this support, do you think development team can progress and achieve the results? Impossible. So these set of resources who does not belongs to the category, who does not belong to development team, everybody who does not belong to development team, you can call it as database administrators, network administrators, system administrators, SAN storage. So there are highly skilled resources who does not belong to development team, but they're very critical and very important for a client. Without that, they cannot make the progress. This set of people are called as operations team. And I hope you know the reason for the delay is gap between development team and operations team. You may have a question, Sunil. You said, yeah, now we understood about the operations team. Now tell me one scenario. What do you mean by gap between development team and operations team? Operations team is also called as ops team. Now, for example, I'll give a small example. Development team is building an application using Java as frontend and backend as Oracle. Development team is working on a particular application where frontend is Java and backend is Oracle. Now, the project manager wants a small change in the technology. They want to continue the Java as frontend, but the backend they don't want to use Oracle. Instead of they want to use Microsoft SQL Server. They want to change the technology component of the backend. They want to use SQL Server. Now, if they want to try how exactly the application is behaving when using SQL Server, it is whose responsibility to provide the SQL Server instance. Whose responsibility to provide the backend database part? Obviously, database administrators. You will have a SQL DBS responsibility to provide this instance. So the development team shoots an email saying that I want SQL Server so and so 2022 version or so and so. So they send an email to the operations team. It is whose responsibility to provide the infrastructure. The operations team responsible to provide the infrastructure to the development team. Now, operations team will reply with these kind of answers saying that the SQL Server resource, the SQL DBA resource, the database administrator who is responsible for providing the instance is leave for 1 week. We cannot provide you the instance at this point of time. Either the skilled resources are not available, or the infrastructure is also not available. All the servers are busy. Please give us 10 days of notice period so that we can provision the infrastructure. The complete hardware is not available. So there could be a number of reasons because of which the operations team is unable to handle the requirements of development team instantly. In such cases, this is one single, there are a lot of cases. There's one example of a case where it is causing the delay in the development as well as operation because of the gap between development team and operations team. Okay, now how can we resolve this gap? How can we resolve this gap? This is very, very important. To resolve the gap between development team, as this is the reason for the delay, the gap between development team and operations team, this gap can be reduced by implementing the concept of DevOps. DevOps is a methodology, my dear friends. DevOps is it's not a technology, it's a methodology, it's a method. DevOps is a methodology which is implemented in software development lifecycle. When clients like software development companies implement DevOps methodology, what this DevOps methodology will do, DevOps methodology will improve the collaboration between development team and operations team. It reduces the gap between this DevOps methodology reduces the gap between development team and operations team, which helps in developing a fast products at much more faster rate. That's the concept of DevOps. As DevOps is helping the software companies to deliver the product at much more faster with more better quality, many companies are implementing DevOps. When a company implements DevOps methodology, typically every software development company will have two teams, development team and operations team. But when DevOps is implemented, there will be three teams: development team, DevOps team, and operations team. Are you understanding? So right now there will be three teams. Now all top companies are now have every client is maintaining three teams: development team, DevOps team, and operations team. Okay. Now let's try to get into the concept of DevOps. Now let's get into the concept of DevOps. The term DevOps, you can see the term DevOps is derived from two important terms: development and operations. The term DevOps is derived from two important terms: development and operation, because it improves the collaboration. As you can see in the diagram, it improves the collaboration between the development team and operations team. DevOps is a methodology. This methodology promotes collaboration between obviously these two teams, which helps in deploying the code into production. Much more automation. DevOps can automate the things. DevOps will break the dependencies between the teams. Have you heard automation is the future nowadays? Many magazines or many are discussing about automation. So DevOps is a technology behind, its concept behind automation. So it enables rapid development product. You can develop the products is much more rapid because you are implementing automation. Clear about this? How DevOps promotes collaboration? How DevOps promote the collaboration with development team and operations team? That can be done by using the tools. DevOps is a methodology, and this methodology can be implemented by using the tools. As I told you, DevOps is a methodology, and the DevOps methodology can be implemented by using the tools. So these tools are used. We will be using these tools so that the collaboration between the teams can be increased, and you can helping the clients, helping the development team to meet the deadlines and deliver the product at much more faster rate with better quality. And what is a prerequisite for DevOps? What is a prerequisite for DevOps? All the DevOps engineers should be very good in basics of Linux. So the prerequisite, the reason we start with prerequisite, as you can see, we start with prerequisite, that's called as Linux. We start with prerequisites. And then we learn about the first tool of DevOps, that is called as Git, and then followed with Maven, which is called as a build tool, followed with Jenkins, which is called as a CI/CD tool. We'll discuss about containerization tool called Docker, or orchestration tool called Docker Swarm. We'll discuss about Kubernetes. We'll discuss about Ansible. We'll discuss about Nagios. We'll discuss about Terraform. So these are the tools which are covered as part of our training course. These are the tools which are covered as part of our training course. The only prerequisite for the DevOps is Linux. So that's the reason we start with Linux. That two basics of Linux is enough. And then we start with Git, Maven, Jenkins, Docker, Docker Swarm, Kubernetes, which is very, very important. We'll also discuss about Ansible, Nagios, Terraform also we'll discuss. This is also very important. So these are the tools which are covered as part of a training course. What is the duration of this course? The duration of this course is approximately 45 days, 45 working days approximately. So close to 2 months. Approximately 2 months. We have started today. So close to 2 months will be the duration, 2 calendar months. Number of working days could be approximately 45. Every session is recorded. Like this session is recorded. And we will be providing the recordings to you. Recordings are provided, yes. How are you providing the recordings? Using our mobile app. You have to download our mobile app. These session recordings are uploaded in our mobile app. You have to download the mobile app from your Play Store or Apple Store. It is available. And you will be accessing the, you can access the recordings using the mobile app. You can also access the recordings from your laptop also. Yes, both options are available. Okay. You can, we also provide a web user interface using which you will provide you can access from your laptop, you can access from your mobile app. Okay, the course fees I already have mentioned 3,499 rupees. It's already mentioned. Anyways, I'm re-mentioning it is INR 3,499. I think as per US dollars, it is 54, I think so approximately. And what are the timings? As we have started today, session starts at early morning 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock or 7:15. And it will be 5 days a week, Monday to Friday. There will be no sessions on Saturday and Sunday. Clear about this? Perfect. You can email in case if you have any queries, you can email to this email address support@logicalabstract.com. Anyways, I'm sending you in the chat box. You can shoot an email or you can call to our technical backend team or operations team. Okay, so to have any questions related to the training. Okay, so do not give the missed call. So anyways, it is not working. Perfect. And the information about these trainings, all the updates about the entire course will be provided in the WhatsApp group. I strongly want you to be in the WhatsApp group. Okay, so I hope you are already in the WhatsApp group. I already have sent you the link to join in the WhatsApp group. Anyways, I'm resending it for the participants who are joined a little late. Please join the WhatsApp group. Please do not join duplicate groups. Any of the one group is enough. Okay, yes. Let's have interaction. There are many people who are waiting for interaction. Let's have interaction with some of the participants. Yes, Bhargavi, good morning. Can you hear me? You are now allowed to unmute and talk. I can see your hand raised. Your question, please. Okay. Rajiv Sharma. Good morning, Raju. How are you doing? By default, you will be on mute. You have to unmute and talk.
Yeah, are you okay? Now you.
I can hear you, Raju. How are you doing?
I'm very, very good for this session. I will take this session, and
thank you very much.
I'm good.
Your experience?
Near of experiencing. I'm in operation team, but near about 10-year experience nearby. So that is the thing.
Okay.
Yeah, unique story.
So Raju, one point, as you're having 10 years of experience in operations team. Okay, Raju. Right now, you cannot go to developer track. Agree? You cannot get into coding because you already have gained vast experience in operations team. The best technology for you is DevOps. Am I right?
Yeah. So DevOps we are using for not even developer side. We are using for operation. I'm in operation team, so that is the reason.
Probably you're using configuration management tools and Terraform as infrastructure tool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay. Good, Rajiv. Thank you and nice to talk to you. I'm sure you'll have a wonderful training ahead.
Yeah, I will be there. Yeah, correct.
Thank you. And one more important point. This DevOps, we can learn on AWS. The same tools, we can learn it on Microsoft Azure. The DevOps tools can be learned on Google Cloud Platform also. Okay. And I hope I'm very clear with my course. Look at the title. This is DevOps on AWS. All these DevOps tools, whatever we are learning, will be on AWS Cloud Platform. Okay. So I want to be very clear for it. Ashwin. Good morning, Ashwin. How are you?
Hi, sir. I'm doing good. How about you?
Yes. Doing well. Thank you, Ashwin. Thank you for joining. Yes, your question. How is today's class?
It was very nice session. I have get to know much things on DevOps today. So I have 9 years of experience in operations and in implementations. So I just have one single question on the DevOps on AWS, as you have mentioned. So do we need to first learn AWS and then should we continue on this learning, or is it fine if I don't have any knowledge on AWS and still I can go ahead and learn this course?
Okay, very good question. Not only you, I think many participants are having the same question. Okay. You can start with DevOps, no doubt. Okay. Even though you're zero in AWS, no problem. You can start with DevOps. So we use only 5% of AWS in DevOps. Okay. So I'll make yourself comfortable with the AWS part. So you can directly start with DevOps without having knowledge on AWS, because I'll explain you what is on. I will be using mainly one service called EC2. I'll explain what is the importance of EC2. So you can start with DevOps, but the industry expects AWS skill sets also, but you have to learn AWS later, Ashwin. There are many people who learn AWS first and get into DevOps. There are many people who learn DevOps first and then second they do AWS. Okay, it's vice versa can also be possible. Okay, you can understand, not a problem. Am I clear, Ashwin?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Devraj. Devraj, good morning. Good morning, Bharat. How are you doing?
Yeah, good morning, sir. I'm fine. My name is Bharat and I'm from Jaipur. And currently I'm working as a network security engineer.
Wow.
So is it good for me, sir? Actually, I want to change my domain from network security to DevOps plus AWS.
Very good, Bharat, because you know the complete clients are moving towards cloud, isn't it? Okay. When the clients are moving towards cloud, definitely they also implement DevOps for the clients. Okay, it's very important for you to upgrade. Do you know any cloud platform, Bharat?
Yeah, I have knowledge on AWS.
Yes, then it's very good. Right now, as you already have experience in and knowledge on AWS, once you acquire the skills of DevOps, you can easily switch your current networking security profile to the DevOps profile, which is more better in the industry.
And sir, is it any coding language, scripting language?
No. We are not developers, right? So you don't need to develop the code. Small Groovy scripting is used. Very simple.
Okay.
Okay, Bharat. Any more questions?
No, sir. Thank you.
How do you know about this course, Bharat?
Yeah, actually, sir, I have joined your AWS course also. Yeah.
Good. Thank you, Bharat.
Okay.
Nagendra. Good morning.
Yeah, very good morning, sir. Yeah, I have 7 years of IT experience. Currently, I am working on Oracle Cloud, YC. Yeah,
Okay.
many people asking that Jenkins, CI, and CD. So because of that reason, I am looking for that DevOps course. Yeah, I want to one thing I want to know. Sometime I'm unable to join 6 a.m. IST. So can you providing the videos through what? Like Google Drive or what else we are providing videos?
Okay. Yeah. I'm coming to your question. So as you know, the session starts at early morning 6 o'clock, Nagendra.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yes.
every session is recorded. Let's say session starts at 6 o'clock and ends by 7:15. Assume. Okay. Ends
Yeah.
by 7 o'clock or ending by 7 o'clock AM. Okay. This particular recording will be uploaded by 9 a.m.
Yeah. No. That
One minute,
doesn't
one minute.
matter.
Let me complete. This particular
Yeah.
recording, the everyday recording will be uploaded by 9 a.m. or probably within 9:30, within 2 to 2.5 hours. This recording will be uploaded in our mobile app. You have
Mobile
to
app, separate app,
download.
that one.
We have a separate mobile app with the name Logic Labs Technologies. Okay.
Okay.
Logic Labs training is the mobile. We'll share you the link to download the mobile
Yeah.
app. Okay. So you have to
This is
download
lifelong, like
lifelong access. Yes.
Yeah.
Lifelong access. You have to download this mobile app, and then from the mobile app, you will have access to the recordings. And you can also play the recordings from your laptop, desktop, also using the web.
Yeah.
Also, they are both approaches because mobile app screen size is very small. You may not
Yeah.
focus. So we also have both the options using which you can access the videos. Okay.
Yeah.
And many people, because of this timing issue, especially from many other countries, they completely depend on live training also. Okay. Because of the timing issue, because they can take the advantage of recordings. Okay, Nagendra?
Yeah.
Am I clear? Any more?
Yes. Yeah. Good. Yeah.
Thank you. Sharad. Can you hear me? Good morning, Sharad.
Yes, but actually I have 6+ years of experience in operation team as a server administration.
Wow. Okay.
And also I did one course from DevOps course. But I want to get the DevOps
From
knowledge
which
in detail.
institute? From which institute you have learned? Some other institute.
It's yes, Naresh IT, because I was searching for the Logic Lab from Jan, and the time was not matching. Is that I'm working in noon shift.
Okay. Now this timing is comfortable for you, Sharad.
Yes. I can join this time.
Perfect. Okay.
Learn
very good. Be perfect.
Yes, thank you, sir. And my question
How do
is
you know
that,
about
sir,
this course or this institute now, Sharad?
From my friend, I got the link.
Okay.
And actually, I joined this group from last Jan.
You're waiting for this morning 6 o'clock slot. Huh?
Yes.
Generally, we
I
start at the
was
evening
waiting for
slots.
comfortable time.
Yeah. Now I hope you got the right timing, Sharad. You have waited for 8 months. Thank you. 7 months you have waited.
Thank you.
Thank you, and
Yes,
please
thank you,
enjoy
sir.
the learning. Thank you, Sharad.
Yes, sir. My question is that as you mentioned, we are learning DevOps on AWS.
Yes.
So, are we going to cover that AWS DevOps tools like EKS, ECS, or Fargate?
No. Those are AWS with respect to EC2 services, with respect to DevOps, with respect to AWS services, right? We are learning standalone tools, whatever we have discussed. Okay.
And that thing will be covered in AWS course.
Yes.
These services, ECS, EKS.
EKS is not covered. We are learning EKS. Kubernetes from a different approach. You'll understand, Sharad. You have to wait for few days.
Okay.
Yes, Radhika.
AWS tools and Azure tools are both the same, sir, or else those will be different for DevOps.
70% concepts will remain the same, but the way we have to manage the tools is different in Azure. Okay, not like the AWS. So 70% the concepts will be the same, but there will be 30% changes in how we use these tools in the Azure. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Veera. Can you hear me, Veera? Yeah.
Hi, Sunil. Good morning.
Good
My
morning,
name is
Veera.
Virati from Raichoti.
Okay.
Your teaching and wonderful teaching.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. For giving
Thank
me
you very
second.
much. Yeah, yeah. So we want success stories. Veera. Every batch we get a lot of success stories. Many people get into the DevOps industry. So only thing what is expected from your end is practicing whatever we are learning. Okay. If you're perfect in understanding and practice whatever we are learning, I'm sure you'll get into the dream DevOps tool. Okay. DevOps platform.
Yes, sir. I like it. Your teaching. I refer to more people. So today class also,
Thank
some
you.
people who joined.
Thank you for you, and thank you for all your friends who have referred. Thank you all on behalf of you. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Any
Divya
technical
and-
question?
Sir, I have question is last batch also I joined in AWS course, sir. Something now we changed the AWS. So if you want latest videos,
You have
how-
attended my AWS training, Veera?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now we have Ankit as a faculty for AWS, and the course content is very much revised. Okay. As you know, Veera, AWS training is live training. Okay.
Okay.
You can we cannot provide you the videos, but you are allowed to repeat the live training for free again. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Thank you all, my dear friends. Because of time limitations, because many people are raising their hands, because of time limitation, I cannot speak with everybody. But let's continue our discussion tomorrow. So what is our plan for tomorrow? As you all know, the batch is already started. As you all know, tomorrow we will be learning how to. What is a prerequisite? The prerequisite for DevOps is Linux. We should be very strong in Linux. In tomorrow's session, we'll be creating a new. I'll show you how to create a new AWS account. I'm sure many participants are directly jumping into DevOps. For them, especially for them, I'll show you how to create a new AWS account. And then we will be creating Linux machine on AWS, and then we'll be getting into the concept of Linux. So that is our plan for tomorrow. I hope you have enjoyed the session. I hope you have enjoyed the session. Please stay in the WhatsApp group to get the updates. And please join tomorrow using the same meeting link how you have joined today using the same link. Please join tomorrow where we learn about the Linux part. Thank you very much. Have a good time.